that's just because Tommy has the unique look.
I'm out of feathers anyway.
Alright, so what would be yours, then?
I would say the one that I probably would have a crush on the Zordon era is Andros.
Why am I not surprised by this?
Ooh.
Of course she goes for freaking Legolas.
What, he looks like it?
He looks totally like Legolas.
Hey, it's Legolas before Legolas.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Linkara was the one that made the joke in History of Power Rangers, but it's true. You know, if you look at him, he is freaking Legolas. Okay, so that would be your...
I just like his background, you know, sort of personality.
Right, personality.
That's exactly why she went there. Yeah, I totally agree with that one. It's not that he's, you know, totally... Can I make
you like Kimberly.
Yes, I do. I'll admit that. I was actually going to say, can we actually make the excuse that it's because he's all Bishonen? Can we do that?
Alright.
Because Orlando Bloom was the same concept. Okay, so who would be your favorite post-Zordon era?
Probably... I would say... It's either a tie between Merrick and Wes.
Merrick and Wes. Okay, so... I think I've learned something, being your husband, is that in order for me to be a proper husband, I have to have a tragic backstory, long hair, and have a really good redemption story. All right, that works. That works. What, is that not true?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I guess I would have to rewatch some of the series again just to see if there's something else I picked up on some of the characters.
This just makes me worry now, because now, like, if anybody tries to impersonate Orlando Bloom, I have to wonder if she's gonna take a look. Nah, I'm not that worried. Okay, so we're back in spring, since we haven't been talking about Banjo Kazooie.
I know.
Dude, it's Shadows of the Empire all over again, seriously. And let's see, what number were we at with Jiggies? We were pretty high.
Let's see.
That's an overall, it's not gonna answer that. 6 out of 10. So we're getting pretty close.
I might have to actually hit up Treasure Trove Cove because I desperately need feathers.
That might be a good thing.
Well, do we need a magic cut for more feathers?
Yes, I think we
Alright, and we're back. Okay. So we had to go and get a few additions in order to help us out with the problems we've been having in Clik Clok Wood.
We entered the Cheeto codes. It's not cheating, they give them to you.
I was gonna say, we're horrible cheaters now? Okay. Are we horrible cheaters, Banjo Kazooie expert?
Well, that depends on how the cheats are used, but if the Cheeto can give you the cheats, then it's technically not cheating.
Because it's in the game.
It's in the game, but unless if you like to go and find the cheats online that don't actually give it to you through the game itself, then yeah, it'd be cheating. But unless if you want to save yourself the pain and anxiety and all that stuff of dying constantly, then you would probably go on and do that.
Well, pain and anxiety I don't think is something that we have felt. Because, I haven't had to comfort you both and get you into counseling sessions yet, so I don't think this game is capable of doing that.
Well, like I said, if you don't want to deal with drowning in the waters or anything, then you can go get infinite
I thought you could go in as
air.
I guess I can't.
Huh.
Must be something.
Or if you... Well, I guess there isn't a code in this one where you can actually get infinite health.
That would seem to me like something that the game should not give you.
Interesting enough, in Banjo Tooie, you can actually do that, I think. Well, actually, no, I take that back.
Does the game give you
Isn't there a code in that game that you can actually get infinite health?
I don't... Maybe, but I know there's a damage game that they give you.
Yes, you can have that.
Okay, but I don't ever see a game giving you like the giving you like the God mode cheat. It's not gonna happen.
But I know one of these games, and I think it's probably Banjo 2, that you can actually activate a code that can give you infinite health, so you don't have to worry about losing too many lives.
Except there are no lives in 2.
That's probably true, but it's been a while since I've played these games.
Okay. And so, does it look like we're done in spring, or?
Yeah, I think we're done in spring. Aside
Okay.
from one, we'll need to go back as the bee.
We...
Don't really need the caterpillars anymore because we fed the eagle.
Well, you fed it once. I mean, it's gonna go hungry without you.
I fed it in 2 seasons. Well,
And now it's just an egg with a band-aid on it.
wait.
I would say that the summer's music I really like out of the 4.
Okay. Okay, so let's get back into what we were actually discussing. So, we've discussed a lot of the bests of Power Rangers. Now, it's time to rag on it a little bit. So, let's go into our worsts of Power Rangers. So, first things first, worst series in your opinion. I'm not going to limit it. You can speak however you
The
wish.
honey bear is he's after Grunty's golden honeybees. Steen him zabbas.
No, it's bees, my god! No! Bees! Ah!
What you gotta do, stand still and just...
There you go. Wow, that was like no effort at all. You just jump right down and you grab the jiggy. Okay, so worst Power Ranger series. I'll start this out. Operation Overdrive. I do not like that series. It has no redeeming factors to me. Sorry, hon. It just doesn't redeem itself to me to make me want to watch it. If I were to have a runner-up or an honorable mention, I would put Mystic Force. Mystic Force is just bad. Well, that's me. So who wants to go next?
What do you think, Andrea?
What do you think, Alex?
I asked you first.
Andrea. I'm picking it.
Oh, well, I'm one of those people that have really no big, huge opinion, but I usually always like to see the good in most of them, but if I were to pick one that isn't one of my best favorites, would probably be... I would say it's a tie between Operation Overdrive and RPM, but if I had to choose which one I like out of those two, it'd probably be Overdrive just because of the multiple vehicles, and probably RPM is probably one of my least favorites, just because it's just kind of a strange concept, but...
This is kind of interesting because what was it that you were saying that was your favorite about Overdrive? You were actually praising it a second ago.
Well, that's because of how many vehicles or Zords you can actually combine, and I am surprised of having like over 12 or 13 or so.
Okay, so you like having multiple vehicles, multiple Zords, things like that.
Oh yeah, and how many combinations?
Gotcha, okay. So, Alex, go ahead.
So, what were the rules? Did you exclude anything?
There will not be a Zordon or post-Zordon era one.
Okay, then probably Turbo.
I was wondering if we had to give an honorable mention to Turbo.
Predictable as it may be. I guess without doing the predictable choice, then Mystic Force never really did anything for me.
Excuse me, guys. Magic cut.
Yeah, because I noticed it was like starting to slide. I'm like, what the?
Okay, so we're back. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties, and they're back again, unfortunately. So, yeah, Turbo's kind of the honorable mention on this one, because it pretty much almost killed Power Rangers. Let's just be honest.
Where are some of the acorns around here? I think they're all in fall, aren't they?
Mostly, yeah, they're all in full.
Alright, so let's get into the next question here. So, worst character. Worst Ranger, in your opinion. I'm not setting a gender limit. I'm not setting anything like that. The person that just outright made you facepalm anytime they open their mouths.
Justin.
I kind of figured you were going there. Give us a reason why you don't like Justin.
Because he had no reason to be there. He really didn't. He was the shoehorn in by dumb executives who didn't realize that Power Rangers already had an audience. They didn't need to suddenly attract a whole new one.
Okay. Andrea, who would be your absolute worst Ranger character? I'm not setting a limit. Guy or girl, you can say whichever. But every time this person opened their mouths or tried to give you an idea, you just hit your face.
That one, well, sometimes some characters would actually, even though they may be kind of, you know, like, they'd be the worst, but yet they have something that actually makes you want to laugh. But I don't know. To me, Justin is also.
We have a double Justin right here. Do you either of you have a runner-up or anything like that? I want to kind of divide this up so we're not picking on the poor kid.
You know, I never really liked Barrick either.
Merrick?
Yeah.
I can kind of get that. He's kind of a weird redemption story. What about you, Andrea?
For which one?
Runner-up for worst character, because you both are saying Justin. I'm like, there's so many more.
Does the Blue Centurion work?
Sure.
2 from Turbo, wow! I hate Blue Centurion, it was so stupid. I have a lot of post-Zordon era rage towards certain characters, especially when, like, certain archetypes get brought in. For example, Trip from Time Force, I don't like, because he's just a walking, talking stereotype. Same thing for... I can't remember the name of the Green Ranger from SPD, and his obsession with butter. He was like a Keenan and Kel Ranger. If I were to say a villain that I absolutely hated, that was a Ranger character, Robo Knight. I do not like getting preached to. And the runner-up would be frickin' Animus from Wild Force. I do not want to be preached to, but I especially do not want to be preached to by a 10-year-old kid. Not happening.
Yeah, that would be something.
I hated the whole Animus plot and that whole thing. Here's the thing. Wild Force to me had a lot of potential, and it just pissed all over it. It never lived up to it. Especially when we had the whole Animus plot, and there's so many wrong things there. In fact, one of the best collaborations, in my opinion, was Wild Force and Time Force. That was a really good one. Mainly because it tries very hard to redeem Rancic as a character, amongst other things. Worst villain of a series. And again, no restriction.
Oh crap, I gotta find all those acorns again.
Yep.
Well, some of even the worst villains also have some of the most hilarious lines, but if you're grouping up on like the main villains and the sub villains, I guess if you want to narrow it that. The one villain that drove me nuts was probably from Ninja Storm.
Oh, jeez. Lothor.
Yes, Lothor was kind of the most bizarre character that I really never really liked.
Okay, let me actually explain why Lothor is such a damnation as far as I'm concerned. Because I actually am one of the few people that considers Voltron to be kind of a predecessor of Power Rangers, alright? Because it's the same concept. Why do I hate Lothor so much? It's one letter away from Prince Lotor, and Lotor was badass in that series, okay? That always bothered me. And you can never go wrong when your character is eventually voiced by Tim freaking Curry! Yes, Prince Lotor in the third dimension was voiced by Tim Curry, and it's always fun to hear him say, Haga, you do that voodoo you do so well.
That makes me appreciate the villain that goes into Jungle Fury a lot more.
So your runner-up would be the villain in Jungle Fury, is what you're saying, or?
No, I'm saying if I had to choose which one I like better out of between Lothor and the one that is in Jungle Fury, I like the one in Jungle Fury a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Alex, what about you? What would be the worst villain ever that's been devised? And I actually am going to set a restriction because I'm kind of surprised that Andrea didn't go Divatox. But no, let's.
The only reason why I didn't select Divatox as the worst villain is because she had a really interesting sense of humor behind it.
Yeah, she had some great hammy moments.
Okay, so worst villain for you.
What was that insect dude? Not the one in Lost Galaxy, but like I think it was Wild Force.
Insect dude from Wild Force.
He was like super pale on that.
Master Orc?
Yeah, Master Orc.
Was it Master Orc?
Yeah.
Insecty?
Well, he was not really insect-like, but he was like half orc and half human.
Yeah, the whole researcher.
I don't know, I remember it being like seeds and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ate seeds and he kind of had, took on some of that plant-like.
Because if you eat evil, you are therefore evil. It's not that you just have really bad diarrhea or something like that for a couple of days. It's just you eat evil, therefore you are.
Oh, nice.
So runner-up villain at that point. Do you have a runner-up?
Not really.
Okay, so Master Org. For me, I want to go for the easiest and go Divatox, because I hated Divatox beyond all. You look like you want to say something.
Well, if I had runner-ups, actually, now that I think about it, is the two villains in Operation Overdrive. They're like brothers, and one represents fire and the other one represents ice, and it reminds me of that one show. What was it, Alex, that had to do with where Christmas was not going to be next year or something, and they had to visit the two brothers, and they...
Oh, I think that's...
Year Without a Santa Claus.
Yes.
Snow Miser and Heat Miser.
Yes, that reminds me of those two.
That's what I thought of when I first saw that series. Like, I have not watched Operation Overdrive. I like peek in when she watches it, and when she watched it, I was like, it's Heat Miser and Snow Miser. Power Rangers edition.
Except minus the songs.
Actually, I think they would have been better if they had the songs. That's just me, though. So worst villain for me, I could easily ham it up and go Divatox. I am not going to, because Divatox is her own rant. Worst possible villain... I did not like Trakina. I actually thought they should have just... I did not like Trakina, she's not it. I'd probably have to go with Lightspeed Rescue. I did not like the whole evil spirits thing. It was so stupid for that series. It made no sense for it. So that would be probably my runner-up. Worst ever villain. This is kind of hard now. I have to think about it. It would probably be the Operation Overdrive villains. I did not like them at all. They were such a waste of space for villains, which pisses me off even more with Operation Overdrive because they had a really good concept for a villain, and he got 3 episodes, being the son of Rita and Zed. That would have been really cool to do.
Hey Alex, do you remember that bit of dialogue we used to do a lot?
Oh yeah, with Dark Spectre.
Huh?
You mean the one about Dark Spectre and Divatox?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we try that?
No.
Why not?
I don't remember any of it.
I could remember part of it if you want to try it.
No, well, hold on. Should I be worried about this?
I don't know. Should you?
I don't know. This is involving Divatox. I'm worried.
No, should we do it? All of you guys out there?
Hashtag do it.
We'll actually let that hash over with people because we're actually getting really close to needing to go on a break. So we'll let you vote. Vote with your comments if you want to see this Dark Spectre and Divatox storyline. I almost am kind of interested myself, but go ahead and leave a comment in the thread below. So I'm going to stop it there. But if we have more time next time, we'll do it.
Yeah, so if you guys want to hear it, we'll practice it, and on the next recording, we will do it. If you want to hear it.
But first, where is that 5th acorn?
Did you check inside?
I have no idea.
They're all close grouped together in the same areas, actually.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna end out with this question, with this worst, but we'll get into these more. Trust me, later on. Worst advisor characters. So we've gone into the best Zordon-esque characters. Now we're gonna go into the worst. I am already going to give you one. Demetria. Hated her so much. I hated the whole idea of the planet Inquirus. Where she only speaks in questions. If I wanted Yoda, I'd go to talk to freaking Yoda. Okay? So I'm just gonna open it up there. Demetria was my worst. With a runner-up being... I'd have to think about that one. But who wants to go next? Who is your worst advisor character? Who's your worst mentor?
Oh, there it is.
You keep on overshooting
I
it.
think the best thing to do is line yourself up with the bridge below, and then jump toward the acorn, then you're less likely to fall. I would say that the worst advisor for me...
Or the worst mentor.
Or the mentor... Probably... Oh... I don't know, I guess maybe... I don't know, I was never a big fan with Captain Mitchell, but... I mean, he's okay, but...
Yeah, he was very stereotypical military character, but I also didn't like the whole subplot of the military owning the Rangers. So...
That actually made sense, though.
It made sense somewhat.
It made sense.
Shut.
It made sense in the concept of, Voltron did this too, where eventually the Galactic Alliance had their own Voltron. But...
Unless you like...
Ooh, do you want to know a runner-up? Frickin' woman from Mystic Force.
That's what I was thinking.
Because she started off as a ranger, and I much rather would have just had her as a ranger. Like, if at that point, if they'd done that, it would have been cool, because it would have been another veteran ranger.
Well, which one do you like better? Her, or do you like, wasn't it Udana?
Yeah, Udana.
Oh, yeah, but,
Which
what
one
about
was...
Princess Shayla? Or Princess Shayla? From Wild...
Biggest plot hole ever.
Yeah, I didn't like her either.
The whole fact that, like, she sits there and goes, oh, I'm a princess, and then all of a sudden they have this kung fu moment that is never spoken of again.
A big-lipped alligator moment.
Exactly. There you go. It was the big-lipped alligator moment of Power Rangers. So would that be the worst mentor for you, Alex?
Yes.
Princess Shayla?
Yeah, because she was pretty worthless.
That and the song. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
the whole stag song. That was horrible.
That is horrible.
Well, if you guys have watched Power Rangers Samurai, how did you? I don't
didn't
think
watch
both. I
Samurai.
guess you both haven't watched, but there is a little.
Not all of it, no.
Well, there's a little section in most of that where you have Bulk trying to teach Skull's, was it son, how
Yeah.
to become a samurai.
Skull's son?
Yeah, I remember that.
That would be awesome!
And then Jason RV actually made a cameo at the end.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it!